My name is Eileen, and at 32, I finally opened Sweet Gatherings, the bakery I had dreamed of since childhood. After sending personal invitations to my entire family, I stood alone in an empty shop watching Instagram fill with photos from my sister Rosie's promotion party. The same party every single family member chose over my grand opening. As I locked up fighting back tears, my phone buzzed with a text from Dad. We need to discuss the bakery. Before I tell you how my family crushed my dreams on what should have been the happiest day of my life, let me know where you are watching from, and hit that subscribe button if you have ever felt invisible to the people who should care most. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, in a family where success was not just expected, but demanded. My father James built his reputation as a cutthroat attorney at Whitman and Associates, one of the most prestigious law firms in the Pacific Northwest. He specialized in corporate law, representing clients whose names regularly appeared in business magazines. Dad worked 80-hour weeks, missed most of my school events, but never failed to remind us that his sacrifices were what put food on our table and maintained our position in society. My mother, Diane, managed to balance her career as a hospital administrator with maintaining our family's social status. She ran our household with clinical efficiency, scheduling our activities with the same precision she used to organize hospital departments. Every achievement earned a checkmark in her mental ledger of family success, with extra points awarded for accomplishments that could be mentioned at charity galas or country club brunches. Then there were my siblings, both walking embodiments of my parents' definition of success. My older brother Tyler, now 35, followed Dad's footsteps into the high-stress world of finance. By 25, he was already an investment banker in New York, sending expensive but impersonal gifts on birthdays and making brief appearances at holidays, always talking about deals and market trends I barely understood. My younger sister Rosie, 29, was the marketing prodigy. She climbed the corporate ladder at Tech Fusion, one of those trendy tech companies with beanbag chairs and cold brew on tap. Mom and Dad beamed with pride at every promotion, every salary increase, every company perk Rosie flaunted on her carefully curated social media. And then there was me, the middle child with flour perpetually under her fingernails. My love affair with baking began when I was 8 years old, in my grandmother, Eliza's kitchen. While my parents pushed Tyler and Rosie toward academic competitions and prestigious internships, Grandma Eliza taught me how to feel the perfect consistency of dough between my fingers. When I was stressed about school, she would invite me to her small house on the outskirts of town, and we would spend hours baking together. Baking is love made visible, she would say, her hands guiding mine as we shaped cinnamon rolls. When someone takes a bite of something you baked, they are tasting your heart. Those words lodged in my soul and grew roots. While my siblings collected trophies and certificates, I collected recipes. I documented every technique Grandma Eliza taught me in a special notebook, adding my own adaptations in the margins. I experimented with flavors and textures, bringing my creations to school bake sales, where they always sold out first. My family viewed my passion as cute but inconsequential. "It is a nice hobby, Eileen," my mother would say, emphasizing the word hobby in that particular tone that made it clear it was not to be confused with a career. But you need to focus on activities that build your college applications. During my junior year of high school, I started working at Bailey's Bake Shop after school. Mrs. Bailey, the owner, became my second mentor. Where Grandma Eliza taught me traditional recipes, passed down through generations, Mrs. Bailey showed me the business side of baking. She taught me about profit margins, inventory management, and customer service. Most importantly, she showed me that my dream could be a viable career. "You have magic in your hands," Mrs. Bailey told me after watching me decorate a particularly challenging wedding cake. "Not everyone can do what you do. Never let anyone convince you that your talent is just a hobby." When college application season arrived, my parents pushed me toward pre-med programs. "You have always been good at chemistry," my father reasoned, as if my talent for balancing flavors and understanding the chemical reactions in baking somehow translated to a desire to become a doctor. I compromised by majoring in business with a minor in food science, thinking this combination would prepare me for my true goal while appeasing my parents. During my sophomore year of college, Grandma Eliza passed away. At the reading of her will, I was surprised to learn she had left me her modest savings account. To Eileen, the will stated, "Who understands that the most important ingredients in any recipe are passion and love." The inheritance was not enough to open a bakery immediately, but it was seed money, a vote of confidence from the one person who had always believed in my dream. After college, while my siblings launched their impressive careers, I worked 3 jobs to save additional money for my bakery. I was a barista in the mornings, an office assistant during the day, and I baked custom cakes and pastries from my tiny apartment kitchen on weekends. My family viewed this phase as my finding myself period, expecting me to eventually give up and pursue a real career. "Law school applications are still an option," Dad would mention casually during holiday dinners. "My firm is always looking for bright young associates." "The hospital has a management training program," Mom would add. "I could put in a good word." But my vision for Sweet Gatherings grew clearer with each passing year. I did not want just any bakery. I wanted a place that embodied the warmth I felt in Grandma Eliza's kitchen, a gathering spot where people could connect over delicious food made with care. I envisioned a space with comfortable seating, where neighbors would become friends, where families would create traditions around my seasonal specialties. I wanted display cases filled with both innovative creations and perfected classics, including many of Grandma Eliza's recipes. For 7 years after college, I worked and saved, researched locations, refined my business plan, and built my recipe portfolio. Each step brought me closer to my dream, even as my family continued to view it as a phase I would eventually outgrow. After years of searching, I finally found the perfect location for Sweet Gatherings. It was a corner storefront in a neighborhood that was experiencing revitalization, with large windows that flooded the space with natural light. The building had character, with exposed brick walls and original hardwood floors that needed refinishing but would be beautiful with some work. Most importantly, it was within my budget thanks to Grandma Eliza's inheritance and my years of dedicated saving. When I called my family to share the exciting news about signing the lease, their reactions were exactly as I had expected, yet disappointing nonetheless. A retail lease. In this economy, Dad's voice carried the same tone he used when discussing risky investments with clients. "Send me the paperwork before you sign anything. Better yet, I could invest in this venture and help guide it properly." I knew what that meant. Dad's investment would come with control, his vision superseding mine until Sweet Gatherings became unrecognizable from my dream. Mom's response was equally disheartening. "Honey, the restaurant industry has such a high failure rate. It is not too late to apply to graduate school. I ran into Dr. Levinson last week, and he mentioned their hospital administration program is still accepting applications." When I called Rosie, her backhanded compliments cut deeper than outright criticism. "Wow, going full steam ahead with the baking thing. That is so brave of you. I could never risk financial security for a passion project. But that is what makes you special, right? You have always marched to your own drum." Tyler was the hardest to reach always between meetings or flights. When I finally got him on the phone, his response was brief and business-focused. Send me your business plan and 5-year projections. Did you account for first-year losses? What is your marketing budget? Have you stress-tested your financial model? No congratulations, no excitement, just immediate skepticism and an assumption of failure. Despite their reactions, I threw myself into preparing the space. I coordinated with contractors for necessary renovations, navigated the complex world of health permits and business licenses, and refined my menu. Every night, I fell into bed exhausted, but fulfilled one day closer to realizing my vision. During this period, I began forming connections with neighboring business owners. Annie from Bloom and Grow Flowers next door stopped by regularly with coffee and encouragement. Marcus from Cornerstone Books across the street offered marketing advice and promised to stock my pastries in his Reading Nook cafe. We newcomers need to stick together, Annie said one day, as we sat on paint buckets in my half-renovated space. This neighborhood has real community potential, and businesses like yours will be the heart of it. As opening day approached, I created a special menu featuring items inspired by my family, hoping their namesake creations would communicate what I struggled to express in words that, despite our differences, they remained important to me. I developed James's Power Breakfast Scone with espresso and dark chocolate for Dad Diane's elegant Earl Grey cake with lavender buttercream for Mom Tyler's Wall Street walnut brownies with cream cheese swirls and Rosie's marketing maven macarons in bright Instagram-worthy colors. At the center of my display plan was a special corner dedicated to Grandma Eliza. I framed her photo alongside her handwritten recipe cards for cinnamon rolls and apple pie, the first recipes she ever taught me. I renovated her old wooden rolling pin and placed it on a custom shelf as a tribute to her influence. 3 weeks before opening, I sent personalized invitations to each family member. I chose thick cream cardstock with gold embossing, investing more than I should have on the elegant design. Each invitation included a personal note expressing how much their presence would mean to me on this important day. The responses trickled in with varying degrees of non-commitment. "We'll try to make it if court adjourns early," Dad texted. "Penciling it in, but board meetings that week might run long," Mom replied. "Sounds fun. Work is crazy right now, but we'll see what I can do," came Rosie's response. Tyler simply said, "In meetings that week, we'll check calendar." I tried not to let their lukewarm responses dampen my excitement. Perhaps seeing the finished bakery would change their perspective. Maybe tasting the creations named in their honor would help them understand my passion. 1 week before my grand opening, Rosie called with her news. "I got the promotion to senior marketing director," she squealed into the phone. "The company is throwing a huge party next Saturday to celebrate. Everyone will be there. You will come right." My heart sank as I realized her celebration was scheduled for the exact same day as my grand opening. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed with messages from my parents. "Did you hear about Rosie's amazing news?" So proud, Mom texted. "Dinner reservation at Morton's after Rosie's promotion party. Family table for 5, came Dad's message. I stared at my phone, the implication clear. They had automatically included me in their celebration plans for Rosie, without even acknowledging the conflict with my grand opening, which they had known about for weeks. When I gently reminded them of the conflict, the responses were swift and clarifying. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime achievement for your sister," Mom replied. "You can have a soft opening another day," Dad suggested, as if years of work and planning could simply be rescheduled. I swallowed my disappointment and focused on final preparations. The menu was perfected, the space was beautiful, marketing materials were distributed, and a small write-up even appeared in the local neighborhood paper. I ordered extra ingredients, prepared contingency plans, and scheduled my day in 15-minute increments to ensure everything would be perfect. The night before opening, I stood in the completed space, taking in the realization of my dream. The display cases waited to be filled with my creations. The tables were set with small vases ready for fresh flowers. The coffee machine gleamed on the counter. Despite my family's lack of enthusiasm, I allowed hope to bloom. Maybe seeing the finished bakery in all its glory would change everything. I woke at 3:30 in the morning on opening day, too excited to sleep. Following the minute-by-minute schedule I had created, I began bringing my bakery to life. The kitchen filled with the comforting scents of vanilla cinnamon and freshly baked bread as I prepared the day's offerings. Each pastry was crafted with precision and love, from the delicate fruit tarts to the hearty artisanal loaves. By 7, the display cases were filled with rows of perfectly arranged pastries, each labeled with handwritten cards describing the ingredients and inspiration. The family-inspired creations occupied prime positions, ready to be appreciated by the very people who had inspired them. At 7:30, Annie arrived with fresh flower arrangements for each table and a special bouquet for the counter. "These are on the house," she insisted, hugging me tightly. "Today is your day to shine." Marcus appeared shortly after with a handmade sign for his bookshop window, directing customers to the grand opening. "I told all my regulars to stop by," he said, placing a small wrapped package on the counter. "A business warming gift. Open it later." As the clock approached 9, the official opening time, I checked my phone. No messages from my family. I sent a group text with a photo of the ready bakery. "All set for opening. Hope to see you soon." No response. At 9, I unlocked the doors, turned the sign to open, and welcomed my first customers. A steady stream of neighbors and curious locals filled the morning hours. They ordered coffee, purchased pastries, and many stayed to enjoy their treats at the tables. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive. "These cinnamon rolls are the best I have ever had," one woman exclaimed. "I am definitely making this my regular morning stop," a man in a business suit declared. Between serving customers, I constantly checked the door and my phone. Each time the bell above the entrance chimed, my heart leaped with hope that it would be a family member. Each time my phone buzzed, I checked it immediately, only to find notifications from service providers or congratulatory messages from friends. By 11, I had served several dozen customers, but the faces I most wanted to see remained absent. I sent another text to my family. "Great turnout so far. Special treats with your names on them waiting for you." No response. At noon, during a brief lull, I checked social media and immediately wished I hadn't. My feed was filled with photos from Rosie's promotion party, already in full swing despite the early hour. There was Dad raising a champagne toast in a sleek hotel ballroom. There was Mom adjusting the Congratulations Director Rosie banner. There was Tyler apparently having flown in for the occasion, arm around Rosie as they posed for a professional photographer. The caption on my mother's post stabbed deepest. "So proud of our successful daughter. The whole family gathered to celebrate this incredible achievement." The whole family. Except me. I put my phone away and plastered on a smile as the afternoon crowd began to arrive. The initial rush had slowed, and though a steady trickle of customers continued, it was clear that opening day sales would not meet my projections. Each hour that passed with empty tables felt like a personal failure despite the genuine enthusiasm of those who did visit. A local reporter who had promised to cover the opening arrived around 2, Lucy Chen, from the Neighborhood Chronicle, observed my frequent glances toward the door and checked my increasingly hollow smiles. "Family couldn't make it," she asked gently, as she interviewed me about the bakery. I considered lying but opted for a simple truth. They had another commitment. Lucy's eyes softened with understanding. She shifted her interview questions to focus on my passion for baking and my vision for sweet gatherings as a community space. Her kindness nearly broke my professional composure, but I managed to maintain my smile until she left, promising a feature in the next edition. By 5 in the afternoon, the truth was unavoidable. Not a single family member had come. Not one had even called or texted during business hours. The special pastries I had created in their honor remained largely unsold, their handwritten name cards, a painful reminder of my naive hope. As closing time approached, customers dwindled to none. I began the cleanup process with mechanical movements, washing dishes, wiping counters, and storing unsold pastries. The day's sales had covered basic expenses, but nothing more. Social media posts from Rosie's celebration continued to appear, each one a fresh wound. Videos of speeches, photos of expensive gifts, images of the family I had been born into, celebrating without me. At 6:45, 15 minutes